tonight. Hello, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hello. You that full of food that you can't say Merry Christmas back? Merry Christmas, everybody. That's better. That's better. Randall mentioned that I have this wonderful internet radio show that I finally figured out how to do correctly after 6.5 years. Yes. And I've had some wonderful people on this show, and it's amazing. I've had Randall on. I've had so many legends that are in this room tonight, like our dear Rosemarie, one of the greatest entertainers in this business, and one of the greatest child actresses and one of the greatest adult actresses too, Margaret O'Brien. I don't know if you even know Margaret. And I don't see him, but his son Mark is here. But let's give it up for Mickey Rooney one more time. I know he can hear you wherever he is. Still in the restroom. I'm telling you, the food has got to be better. They won't keep going to the restroom.
Let's do something, in the air. Everyone's in the restroom right now. Not really. Just a few people. I think because Mickey's in the restroom, everybody wants to try and, see him. Oh! In the restroom. It's a stall you can't see. But a legendary Oscar-winning icon of more than 40 films, a Hollywood royalty member, Miss Margaret O'Brien is here tonight. And TV royalty, I love you so much, my old friend for so many years, and a wonderful, wonderful person of the council, Stu mentioned, Rosemarie. Rosemarie, darling, wave to the audience. Can you wave, Rosie?
Wave, Rosie.
Deaf as a stone. Thank you. That was marvelous.
She's saving it. She's saving it. There's a couple of other people I just want to acknowledge really quick, and if I forgive me if I don't get every single celebrity in this room, but there's a gentleman here who, do you remember the show Car 54, Where Are You?
Yeah.
Remember, there was Tootie and there was Muldoon and there was also Officer Nicholson, and he's in our audience tonight. I think he and Charlotte Ray are the only ones left from that series. He's a wonderful actor and he's a great stand-up comic, and I just want to say hi to Hank Garrett, ladies and gentlemen. Hank, would you stand, please? And then one other person real quick, and then we'll get on with this. A gentleman that I first met when I was working for Lucille Ball on Life with Lucy. Did you ever come to any of those filmings?
2 of them.
You did?
2 of them. Okay. That's where I met you.
I think so. I think so. Boy, that was almost, what was that, 26 years ago.
30.
And I have a bad back, I can't see, I'm old. Back then I was the same thing because I worked for Gary Morton. You know?
Lucy and Gary were wonderful, but Lucy was wonderful. She really was. Everybody said, oh, we read she wasn't funny off stage. She was sarcastic. She was very sarcastic off stage, and I loved her. She was wonderful here at the Motion Picture Council.
She was not a funny person off screen, but she was a warm, wonderful, sensitive person, and I loved every moment that I worked for her. She was just wonderful. You're going to get me to start crying. Now stop it, Randall, stop. But the gentleman that I want to introduce, I first met at Life with Lucy. He was hired to come in and do animal voices on about 3 of the shows. He did the voice of a goose, and he did the voice of a dog, and he did the voice of a fly. If you ever thought about a fly having a voice. But more importantly, he's a fine actor, but he worked with Jack Webb for 10 years. He was the producer of Adam 12, and I just want to acknowledge him right over here. Tom Williams, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got to move this along. I said that I've been so privileged because I've had so many wonderful people on my talk show every week, and I've had a lot of legends, and 2 people tonight that I consider legends are getting awards from the council. Thank you for doing this, by the way.
My pleasure.
Randall called me up and he said, do you think they'd accept an award? It's like, well, duh, does Michael Schwebs have a camera? Are they going to accept awards here? Of course they are. This is a lady that I have known how many years? 20, 30 years? She was my neighbor when I lived in Encino, when I was living with my parents. She lived around the corner. I went to high school with her daughter. She is a legend. If I say to you that she started out in the golden days of radio, she'll kill me, but that's where she started. Do you remember Meet Corliss Archer? She was Corliss Archer. Yeah, Corliss Archer, and then she started, she was on Ozzie and Harriet, the teenage girl that lived down the street on Ozzie and Harriet. And then television came along and we were talking about Lucy. They'll know this. They'll know this. There was an episode of I Love Lucy where there was a teenage girl that had a crush on Ricky. You remember that episode?
Yes.
And Richard Crenna played a teenager who had a crush on Lucy. Well, this lady played the teenager on that I Love Lucy episode. It's called Young Fans, 1952. I think I can say that without... Because she's way over there and I'm up here. And then 10 years later, she was on another Lucy show, on Lucy's second series. She played Lucy's sister. They elevated her. They aged her, but they didn't age Lucy. They wouldn't let her. She wouldn't let them. She owned the show. There's no way she was going to do that. And then she co-starred with Tony Franciosa on Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I remember that. But everybody remembers her mostly for her cartoon voiceover work. I'm going to save the #1 voice for last. I will mention to you Josie from Josie and the Pussycats, Penelope Pitstop, remember that? Granny Sweet from the Precious Pup cartoon series, and most of all, my absolute favorite voice, is why I wore this tie tonight, Judy Jetson on the Jetsons. She will forever be 16 years old. Forever. And she still sounds it too. When she comes up here, you listen, and if she's not, she doesn't sound 16 to you. Incredible lady.
So, sounds 16 to me, but we have another icon that is here tonight. Stu's going to introduce to you to present the award.
Yes, yes. We are giving the award to Miss Janet Waldo. And to present the award is another voiceover legend that I am so pleased to call my personal friend. This lady is incredible. There is no stopping her. She is the voice of Rocky the Flying Squirrel. Yeah. She is the voice, yes. She is the voice of Natasha Fatale and Nell Fenwick. She is the voice of Granny in the Tweety cartoons. And it's Christmas time. She was the voice of Cindy Lou Who on How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And that just she was the only actress in that cartoon that had a speaking voice. Everything else was just animation. It is such an honor to present the award to Janet, Miss June Foray. Standing ovation, how about that? Here we go. And I'd also like to introduce you now to the one and only recipient of the Golden Halo Award, one of our recipients tonight, Miss Janet Waldo. I need to put my glasses on. I don't know which one of these is her award, so Van.
Okay.
Isn't he great? He's the best guy on the microphone I've ever talked to. Don't you think he remembers everything? No notes? No.
We need a microphone.
I have known Janet.
Go ahead, go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead.
Oh.
Janet was complimenting me, but they couldn't hear, so she's going to say everything over again.
We are a little student.
Well, let me just say that I've known Stu since he was the MC for Lucille Ball.
Well, I did that once.
Well, that's when I met you.
Gary would not let go of that microphone.
And he remembers everybody's name, everything they've ever done. He remembers everything about everybody, even the bad things. So anyway, thank you, Stu. You're great.
Go ahead. We interrupted you, Jim. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to give the award.
Why don't I hold this and you talk?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I want to give this award to a lady I've known for many years. We started in radio together, and now we're both doing animation, and we've been close friends for a long time. Janet, here's that wonderful award.
Beautiful. Lord, have you seen it? It's beautiful.
She still sounds like she's 16?
Oh, well, I am. But this is just beautiful. Thank you. Do I thank you, Stu?
Yeah, where's Randall? You thank the council, you thank Elizabeth and Tara and all the wonderful people?
Thank you, Tara. Oh, it's gorgeous. Is that gorgeous? Let me see. Where will I put it? On the mantle. Yeah.
Have one of those.
Yeah, well, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful to this place for bringing me to something to do with motion pictures, because I was brought to California by Bing Crosby for motion pictures. I was put under contract to Paramount, and I soon discovered, right after I got in with Paramount, that there was such a thing as radio, which was much more fun because you didn't have to be photographed, and you could just, come without makeup on and everything. And so Bing really opened up a whole new vista for me. And then people on the way, then currently, I will forever be grateful to Joe Barbera of Hanna-Barbera, because he was the one who's given me so many wonderful opportunities in cartoons. So thank you, Bing, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Stu, and thank you, June, and thank you for this group.
Southern California Motion Picture Guide.
Judy
We thank
Steele.
you. Janet Waldo.
The Judy Steele.
You don't want me in it, do you? Just, you want me in it? No accounting for taste.
Okay. Look.
Oh, picture taken.
Stu,
What, Jeanine?
have her do the Judy. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
On the
You want
microphone.
to do the Judy Jetson swoon for everybody? You got a date with Jet Screamer tonight. There you go.
And don't forget Taki Tina.
We're going to do pictures.
Yeah.
Hold your award up, Janet.
Hold the award up, Mom, in front of you. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
By your tummy. There we go.
There's Randall.
Thank you for everything.
This is a beautiful award. I can't believe it.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful? I was trying to get a bite of food, for goodness sake. Excuse me for crossing in front of you. Being a stage performer of iconic proportion, I never do that. However, he asked me for the award for the next recipient, so I'm going to do that.
June.
Oh, he found it!
June should just stay
Which
there.
is something for a man of his age, let me tell you.
Oh, you.
And speaking of age, Rosemary is here tonight.
Doing it down here.
Oh, he's doing it down here.
Legendary. You know, Rosemary is the only star that I have ever known who is the star of every venue of show business. She was the #1 vaudeville star as Baby Rosemary. Are you getting this all down, John? Oh, yeah. John from the Tolucan. She was a #1 movie star in films like International House with she and W.C. Fields. She was the #1 cabaret star with Frank Sinatra and all the great stars during her cabaret years. She was the first lady of Las Vegas. She was the opening act. She and Jimmy Durante and Xavier Cougar for Bugsy Siegel opened up at the Flamingo. Is that right, darling? She was the opening act. An icon of show business, conquering every venue. She had her own radio show when she was 3 years old. Is that right? The only person to beat her in radio was Margaret O'Brien, who had her own radio show when she was an embryo. It was a little difficult for her mother, microphones and electro. No. However, Rosemary has conquered every venue of show business, television, movies, Broadway, cabaret. She's here tonight. And we're so honored to have you, Rosie. Thank you very much. Legendary icon, Rosemary. And now the next award is someone who made TV history, from Mr. Stu Shostak. Here he is.
TV
Can I
history.
have
is
the
it?
mic?
You want the mic, Rose? Oh, Rosemary.
Yeah.
Promise not to say anything dirty in it. Okay.
Good evening. Well, I see we're all well bored.
Thank you.
Everybody's sitting around with a long face. I want to tell you something. I couldn't wait to come here tonight to have that buffet. Every year we are told it's a different buffet. It's different. It's different. The same damn thing. I think they got 2 monkeys in the kitchen. They take care of everything. But I want you to know I'm very happy to be here tonight. It's better than staying home and watching lousy television. Because there's nothing on television outside of boobs, crotches, and kissing. That's all they do, is kiss and open their crotch and open their boobs. That's all they do. So to be among ladies and gentlemen like tonight, well, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure. And I want to answer a few questions. People say to me, how come you're not married? Everybody's teasing about getting a boyfriend. I've had many boyfriends, many boyfriends, none of them the right one. I was married for 20 years before my husband passed away, and I never got married, only because the guys I went out with were nerds. They were all screwed up in their own life. I went out with Herman Glimsher. Yeah! Herman Glimsher. He had a mother that wherever he went, she had to go. She had to go. So we thought, well, we'd be nice. We'll take her out for a drive. We took her out for a drive. She sat in the back seat with her head outside the window all day. Then we went to a restaurant. She walked over to the band leader and she said, can you play Come Rain or Come Shine, either one? Then she sat down and she ordered food. She had 2 shrimp cocktails, 3 bowls of soup, 2 salads, 2 entrees, and 4 desserts. And she says, I'm so full I'd like to have something to wash us down. I said, how about Lake Erie? Finally got rid of her. And I want to tell you something. Don't ever go out with a guy with a pacemaker. Don't ever do that. I went out with this other guy who had a pacemaker, and every time he kissed me, the garage door went up. So don't ever go out with a guy. I want to congratulate all the people getting the awards tonight. I think there's 1 or 2 we missed. We've been giving out so many awards that it's been a pleasure. You people are wonderful, and I love you all. And you're absolutely exceptional to put up with this evening. Because I was a young girl on this show. And I love you all. Have a wonderful, happy Christmas. And a very happy New Year.
Rosemary, ladies and gentlemen. Best warm-up act in the business. Thank you, Rose. No, I'm not going to stay down here. I want the people to hear about the credits of this next gentleman who is also a true legend. Shall we do it? Or what do you want to say?
We're going to do it now. This next gentleman is a true legend, like Rosemary, and thank you, Rosemary, because you are the best, and you know how I love you so much. We all love Rosemary, ladies and gentlemen. I could absolutely strangle you. She brings our PG rating to an R so quick, but I love you, darling, and I forgive you. You are marvelous. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Stu to give you the next award, and you're going to love this. You're going to love this.
That's it. That's it. I started to say that this gentleman, too, is a legend. He'll never admit to that in a million years, but we all know that he is. He is one of the sweetest, nicest guys that I have had the pleasure of knowing almost 20 years. He's just such a delight, and he's so incredibly talented. He started out on radio as well with his own variety show. He was the second person in this town to have a live, coast-to-coast network variety program. Ed Wynn was the first. Does anybody remember Ed Wynn? Well, this gentleman took Ed Wynn's place. Ed Wynn went over to NBC to do the Colgate Comedy Hour or 4-Star Review, one of those shows, and Bill Paley heard this gentleman on the radio and said, I want you to be on television for me. And he had the second live variety program in Hollywood for 2 seasons, his own variety show, and he was one of the first to win an Emmy for that too. 1950, he won an Emmy, one of the very first Emmys ever given out to anybody, especially on the West Coast. Fabulous career, tons of movies, Mr. Belvedere, Jeanine, help me out. Mr. Belvedere
Goes to college.
goes to college.
Margie.
Margie, I know him and you know him best from the Time Machine. Remember Philby on the Time Machine?
Tom Thumb.
Tom Thumb, right. Okay, that's enough. We got to move along.
Gentlemen marry brunettes.
Gentlemen marry brunettes, not gentlemen prefer blondes, although he did date Marilyn Monroe. Okay,
Yes.
Jeanine, we got to move this along. But you all know him best. If I said to you Wilbur Post, Mr. Ed, he was Wilbur Post. He was the star of Mr. Ed for 5 seasons. Was it 5 or 6 seasons? It was 6. I missed a season. I was very young at the time. But I watched that show every Sunday night right before Lassie. He is an incredible performer. For the last 26, maybe even 30 years, he's been like Janet and June doing voiceovers for cartoons. He did the Smurfs. He wrote and produced the record album Mickey's Christmas Carol for Walt Disney Records. And yeah, he was the voice of Mickey Mouse. That was the one person who bought the album that just applauded over there. But he is best known for his role as Scrooge McDuck. He has been playing that part for nearly 30 years. He is an unbelievably talented performer. He is Mr. Alan Young, ladies and gentlemen. And both June and Janet have worked with Alan doing voiceovers for the past 30 years. And once again, we want June to present the award. And here's Alan, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
I'll hold the mic and you give me your award, just like we rehearsed it. You'd never know it, but we did.
This award I am giving to a man that I first met in radio. I did his radio show. How many years?
How many years? Can you get an answer like that?
I don't know how many
It
years.
was in the 1940s. It was a long time.
Anyway, the latest thing that I've done is DuckTales. I played Magica the Spell and he was Scrooge. And last week, for a game show, I did Magica the Spell and Alan recorded Scrooge.
Still working today.
And so I'm delighted to give this wonderful award to my friend and very devoted man to society, Alan Young.
Dude, get on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you. I prepared a speech for tonight that you'd be all glad to know I forgot it. However, I cannot forget this night with these lovely people. I mean, winning an Emmy Award was great. I never won an Oscar, and that would have been great. This award and you people are the greatest. I'm so grateful. And I only have a couple of words to say, but they're all from my heart, not my mouth. And that's God bless you all, and thank you.
Mr. Alan Young, ladies and gentlemen.
Want to get a picture there, Stu? June, get in more. Get in more.
Yeah, get in more.